Hey, it's Sam, and I'm making this quick video about the new moon in Capricorn that's happening on January 27th. Now, this new moon is also going to coincide with a couple important shifts that also are happening. In particular, on the same day, or like the end of the previous day, Saturn will be moving into Sagittarius, which is going to initiate a 2.5 to 3 year cycle where we shift from being concerned and stressed and worried about our imagined fears and the pressure that we've witnessed over the last couple years, that we've seen play out in elections and worldwide events where we're kind of paranoid, moving into something much more hopeful. So Saturn moving into Sagittarius is happening right as this new moon in Capricorn occurs, and it's bringing a much more hopeful outlook and a commitment to what inspires us rather than what we're afraid of. I've done a whole video teaching on Saturn in Sagittarius, but also at the same time Venus is moving into Pisces, where it's going to be in its exalted sign for the next almost 4 months, or about 4 months. So a lot of things shifting, not just the full moon in Capricorn, but also the new moon in Capricorn, but also this Saturn transit into Sagittarius and the Venus exalted. Quite hopeful and inspiring. With the Saturn shifting, but also, the new moon in Capricorn is a time to really go inward toward what's real and face our fears in a very practical way. Now, it's going to be in Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana is ruled by Lord Vishnu, who is the maintainer of the cosmos and the one who keeps everything in its proper place. Shravana literally means hearing in yoga. It's the capacity to hear and also to listen and also to speak the truth. Hear the truth, speak the truth. One of the great activities in Shravana has to do with chanting mantras and organizing our inner space. So it's a great time for that kind of mantra practice to cleanse your heart and to really connect you with what's deeper, more profound, more eternal than just the fleeting games of the world. Now, Capricorn comes after Sagittarius, so we just had the Sagittarius cycle that's ending. And Sagittarius is that time of inspiration, hope, purpose, greater meaning, what we believe in, what we are following, and what we're allowing to guide us. After that, you might call it like your religion or your beliefs. After that, we deal with the practical concerns of Capricorn. It's easy to be all pumped up and hopeful, believing something in Sagittarius, but what are you putting into practice? What are you making a commitment to? What are you willing to sacrifice for in order to turn that belief into a structure, into a routine, and into many routines that give you a solid core connection with the eternal truths, and that allow you to master time itself and to overcome the stress of and the pressure of life on earth that's going to end. Because we're all going to die. We all have a limited amount of time here, and everything has a limited amount of time. And we feel that pressure in Capricorn. We feel it internally because Capricorn is that feminine, reflective quality of Saturn. Saturn is the planet of time and pressure. And in Capricorn, we feel it emotionally, psychologically, internally, and we have a tendency to collapse in fear of that inevitability. of the inevitable march of time taking away everything of this earth. And the earth is beautiful. We love it. We love it. We all say we want liberation. But we don't want liberation. We just want to be liberated from pain. We want to be liberated from our pain and suffering, and we want to keep all the good stuff. And we can't, and we have to grow up about that. I mean, we can, but liberation it is liberated from everything. And it's a lack of attachment to the good and the bad. We want to be liberated from the bad, but we only see it as the bad because we have an attachment to the good. So the greatness of Saturn and the greatness of Capricorn is it gives us the endurance to withstand and to persevere through difficulty and to endure suffering. And eventually not see it as suffering at all. Everything that we fear is never as bad as fearing it. So there's a lot of fear in the world right now with recent politics and other kinds of situations that are changing. We have a lot of fear, and we can be overcome by that fear and let it just stop us and make us kind of grab onto things with this sort of white knuckle death grip. And that's not helpful to anyone. So instead, what we need to do is go in and find that source of our fear, connect with the heart and release that, and connect with what's eternal and true. And that which is beyond all of that stuff of the world that we're trying to control. So giving up that illusion of control is big with Saturn energy as well. So these are big themes for the next 30 days with the moon, with the new moon in Capricorn. And I talk about this in greater detail at my member site if you want to know how this is going to influence your sign, because it's different for every sign. If you're Gemini, this new moon in Capricorn is your 8th house. It means you're going to start an 8th house cycle. If it's Virgo, it's going to start a 5th house cycle. If it's Aries, it's going to start a 10th house cycle. It's totally different. So it's going to influence a different area of your life. So for only 50 cents, you can get that and get 2 weeks of forecast. This is what I do for my members. Very easy way to check it out. But beyond that, we also have these other, as I said, important shifts with Saturn moving into Sagittarius. So we're going to be more committed to what inspires us and making sure that our leaders are being truthful and honest and are inspiring rather than trying to manipulate us through fear. We can see, especially in the last U.S. presidential campaign, it was so bitter and divisive and so fearful. Just one candidate scaring you more about the other. And we're still in a kind of hangover from that fear and having politicians or whatever trying to scare us. But, as an American, having just brought in the last president, we saw over the weekend, these protests, but they were very hopeful. There's a great sense of hope and inspiration, whether you voted for the president, which fills you with hope, or, frankly, if you didn't, and you're in the opposition and you're flooded with hope that there can be change and that it's not going to be as bad as we fear and that it's not going to destroy us, that there's hope. Because it was feeling so desperate. All around, it was feeling desperate on the one side that voted in the president. They were feeling so despondent after 8 years of Obama. They were feeling desperate and hopeless. Now they feel hopeful. On the other side, it's felt desperate and lacking in hope since the current president was elected and now sworn in, but there's a resurgence of hope that it'll be okay, we're going to survive it, and we need to focus on our agenda, and it's almost better that it happened because now we're really paying attention and we're awake. So, hope. Saturn going into Sagittarius. Very powerful. And then Venus going into Pisces also. Very much about devotion, higher purposes, finding beauty in all things. They're happening at the same time. So this Capricorn cycle, even though it's a heavy cycle, or it can be, it's really infused with a lot of hope, inspiration, and purpose. In addition, we have a couple other, down here, there are a couple other things that are going on. We also have Mars in Pisces, which is going to influence that exalted Venus. Mars has been there also for about, since around January 19th, I think. And that brings some intensity to that Pisces energy, makes us kind of like the spiritual warrior. So having both Venus and Mars there, certainly brings a lot of passion and intensity. And also, again, brings a kind of spiritual warrior theme to what's happening. And there's a Jupiter-Mercury exchange that's also going to be happening for about another week or so, with Mercury in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Virgo. So this exchange has been going on for a couple months, and it shows the sharing between data and details and things that we believe in. And when we're saying, oh, this happened, and then we say, well, let me see the facts. Give me the facts. This whole kind of new approach of alternative facts and fake news, and all of this whole explosion of this has really happened quite a bit. It really exploded since Mercury-Jupiter started exchanging. We've really seen it blow up. And I think we're going to start to exercise a lot more scrutiny and care. So we're going to start to see a shift around these things. And we're seeing this as a backdrop now of this new moon in Capricorn. And the exchange between Jupiter and Mercury is big, because it's the exchange between ideas, which is Mercury, and beliefs. The Jupiter says, here's what happened. And it's just this big unfounded proclamation. And Mercury says, prove it. What are the facts here? Tell the truth. Oh, it's based on this study. And then this proof comes out, and it's like, well, wait a minute, that study isn't true. Wait a minute, this photograph is real. Well, wait a second, you said this before, now you're saying that, which one is it? So it's kind of like, it's Jupiter that might make a big proclamation, and Mercury that says, what's the proof? And so, we've been cycling through quite a bit of this lately. Not like it's going to go away, but we'll see how that plays out in the middle of all of this as well. So, as I said, if you want to hear how this new moon in Capricorn will influence you, you can check that out for your sign. Only 50 cents. You also get daily forecasts from me and 2 live Facebook live video calls and check-ins and chats each week. And a lot more, actually, like 8.5 hours of free classes and all that stuff, if you're interested in checking that out. So either way, take care.